We like sports and we don't care who knows. From shooting hoops to the Super Bowl. We like sports and we don't care who knows.
Welcome back, everybody. Flem and Lem. It's been a long break, but we're back. He's Lem.
He's Flem.
We are Flem and Lem Sports Podcast. So, it's been a while. It's been a great while since we've done our last podcast.
Had some exams.
College hits you.
Yeah.
And it's been a while.
Life comes at you, so we're finally getting down to business.
And the best season of the year is upon us. Maybe not the best, but we love summer. School is out. Baseball is in. NBA Finals are in. It's a great time to be a sports fan.
Great time to be a Milwaukee fan. I'm just going to throw that in there. If you remember on this show, real quick, I called the Bucks going to the finals. And Flem said that was going to go on freezing cold takes. So here I am. Bucks have a 2-0 lead.
I did. I said the Raptors were the best in the East. Mm-hmm. And it's not over.
We'll see.
It's looking to be that way.
Just a heads up for you guys listening, we're probably going to do just a baseball segment for most of the summer. We might recap some other sports, especially the finals really get started, but we're going to really hardcore go into baseball. It's by far the sport that we know the most about. So it's going to be a baseball summer, that's for sure.
Yeah, we have a pretty good knowledge of other sports, but baseball is in, and it's what we know the best. So we're going to do that. We're going to jump right in. It's been quite an interesting year so far. Pretty early, but we have a lot of surprises. What is your biggest surprise so far?
My biggest surprise is probably how insane Cody Bellinger has been. I'm a Milwaukee guy. I'm a big Christian Yelich fan, but right now Bellinger's hitting .405, 17 home runs, 44 RBIs. The dude is off the charts. Leads the league in hits, runs, batting average. Like, can he be stopped is my biggest question and my biggest surprise right now.
Yeah, interesting thing is that any other year, it would be Yelich's story.
Yeah.
Because with 19 home runs. And, I mean, he's putting up MVP numbers still.
Absolutely.
But Bellinger is putting up even better, which is kind of insane to think about.
One of my favorite moments of the year was in Milwaukee. The Dodgers and the Brewers were playing, and Bellinger actually robbed Yelich of a home run. A really, really nice catch, and then proceeded to hit the game-winning home run later in that game.
He's had an incredible year.
Yeah.
He's had an incredible year.
Yeah.
It's like the magic just doesn't run out.
Yeah. So that's our question. Is he gonna keep it up? You think he can really keep this up?
I don't. I mean, he's been solid for the Dodgers every year. He was Rookie of the Year. But the batting average is so surprising. The power, he has power, but the batting average, .405,
yeah,
I don't think he can keep that up.
Yeah,
that seems the most unrealistic stat to me.
He's never hit over 267. Granted, this is only his third year, so there's obviously lots of room for improvement. But to go from 267 to... Obviously, he's not going to hit over 400. That just won't happen this year. But even to hit in the high 300s, I don't think is really realistic. No. I think he'll stay in the MVP conversation the entire year.
Just because his numbers are so high right now.
Yeah.
If he has we were talking about this with Yelich as well. Even if they have mediocre years from here on out, they're going to hit 40 home runs with 100 RBIs. So, I think he'll stay in the MVP race, but you have to wonder, is the month or the month and a half going to come where Bellinger's a swing and miss guy as well?
Yep. Strikes out a lot.
Is that slump going to come? And if it does, how long will it last?
Yeah.
Because Yelich is more consistent.
Yes. I do think right now, if voting were to be today, Bellinger gets the NL MVP for sure.
He has to.
Yeah.
He'd be the MLB MVP.
Yes.
But I think my biggest surprise is the NL Cy Young race. I mean, the big four, the ones that we know, the Kershaw, Nola, DeGrom, Scherzer, they're all fairly average or below average this year.
Yeah.
And the ones that are coming to the top are the Castillos, Paddock, Ryu, fairly younger players. Ryu, not so much. But Paddock and Castillo, I mean, talk about the Marlins just messing up their franchise.
Yeah, both of those guys used to be, Paddock and Castillo used to be in the Marlins organization, and they traded both.
And that's not, including all of the position players.
Yeah.
Ozuna, Stanton, and Yelich.
Yeah.
I mean, that team could be the top in the NL East at this point.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. The Cy Young for the NL, I think my pick was Aaron Nola, and he has been, 4 ERA, I think is what it is.
4.47, yeah.
Like Davies from Milwaukee, Luke Castillo from the Reds,
Yeah.
Paddock, Smith from the Marlins. Like, some of these guys are like really, really good. But like if you were to say right now, yeah, I bet almost end of May, Zach Davies, Luis Castillo, and Chris Paddock were going to be your top 3 runners for the Cy Young. I'd be like, what are you smoking? Like,
Yeah, admittedly, we were pretty off on our predictions so far.
Yes.
But it's still early.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can't, especially someone like DeGrom, who's been good his whole career. I don't see how he can just continue to struggle so hard. But I don't know.
I would say Ryu is the guy who I'd expect to keep it up the most out of all these guys.
I like Paddock, but he's a
Me too.
rookie. We'll talk more about
some
rookies
in a bit.
later.
There have been some surprises, especially with these awards and the top performers, but man, some guys are having a great year. That leads us into our next topic with some of the surprises this year. We're calling it reject or respect. We're going to break down some team performances and one player who everyone knows and some love. If we really think they're serious where they're at right now, or if we think they're really going to like fall off or change their season, turn around their season either for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll ask you the first one. Let's go with Aaron Nola. Respect or reject?
Okay, so he's 4-0. It's a good record, but 4.47 ERA. This guy was supposed to be the savior of the Phillies. Phillies are in first place. They're good. He's given up 9 home runs, 17 all of last year. He's already over halfway there. 21 walks, only 58 last year. 4-0 is a good record, but don't let that deceive you. And so, I'm gonna
What
say,
do you think? Yeah.
I'm gonna say respect. And I'm gonna say because of the team he's on. Being on a good team helps you. Like,
their hitting is what's saving
which is
them.
why he's 4-0. So he could have a good record, and his ERA will come down. So I'm gonna say respect Aaron Nola right now.
Here's what I'm gonna to go on top of that. Well, the 9 home runs and the 21 walks, it sounds like a loss of command, which that's hard because like people don't usually lose their stuff, but they will always have the high fastball or the big sweeping curveball. But it's the command that really it can make or break your season. And he's 4-0 with a 4.47. And to put that in comparison, Stroman for the Blue Jays, he has a 2.95 ERA, but he's 1-6.
Yeah.
And so
he's a guy who's going to get traded. Just going to throw that out there right now. He won't be a Blue Jay for much longer.
he shouldn't be. He has no value to their team right now.
So what do you say, reject or respect?
I say I respect these numbers, meaning that I think that this is going to be Aaron Nola. Is
Really?
that what you're saying? Yeah. Respect because those numbers are really surprising, but I feel like he's a little bit more unproven compared to DeGrom or Scherzer or Kershaw. And so he's a younger player that people are still I feel like maybe teams are on to something with him. Because the 9 home runs, it's maybe a fluke or something. You give up 2 in a start or 3 in a week. But 9 home runs, over half of what he gave up last year is kind of surprising.
So let's clarify. You're respecting his current numbers.
Yeah, if I reject, that means I reject that he's going to stay that way.
Okay, I'm rejecting then. I said respect. I'm going to reject and say I think he's going to turn it around.
In this segment, maybe we won't stick with that name. But that's what it is for right now.
Okay, our next guy is Bryce Harper. Let me read the stats. 230 batting average, 8 home runs, 25 RBIs. Those are the surface level stats. Leads the league in walks, but also leads the league in strikeouts. I saw a stat the other day that his current swing and miss ratio and his strikeout ratio for what he's on pace for is the worst in his career. He's having the worst stretch right now. So, Flem, do you reject or do you respect Harper?
Okay, I'm going to go a little bit both ways. I reject because he's not a 230 hitter, but I don't think he is what everyone thought this guy is a swing and miss guy. He's kind of like on par with a Stanton or someone of that nature. Like, he strikes out a ton. And walks, he leads the lead in walks, and that's really good. He has a good eye, but how many of those are intentional pitch arounds? Because he's a dangerous guy.
Yeah.
He's got insane power, and he's a great hitter. He really is, but he just, his swing and miss, and I bet a lot of those are on breaking balls.
Yep.
I think that he's about a 265 hitter.
Yeah.
And for someone who has his type of talent,
And his
should
kind
be
of money.
it should be a lot higher.
Yeah.
13 years, $330 million. You shouldn't be a 265 hitter. But so I kind of reject, but I do think that this is the type of Bryce Harper that we'll see for a long time.
I agree with you. So I'm going to say respect his kind of respect his current stat line. I agree. 265, maybe 270. Power number, he'll hit 35 home runs. 100 RBIs. Like he's a good player, but he is not Mike Trout, and that's the comparison that gets thrown around. He's not Mike Trout. He does play a much better glove than a lot of people expect or know about. He makes some good catches. He's got a good arm in the outfield, so there is some defensive value there. But no, I don't think he's going to be the 330, 40 bombs, 120 RBIs people want him.
He's not what his money is.
Yes, I agree.
And like what we know, Harper, he has the potential to hit 320 with
he does
40 home runs, but his swing and miss ratio, his strikeout ratio, it's just not very good, and it wasn't good last year. And so that's a trend. That's not a slump.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on, we're gonna go to a team now. Red Sox are 23 and 22. They're in third place by 5 games. They're trailing the Yankees and the Rays. Do you respect or reject?
So, I picked the Red Sox to win close to 100 games, finish second in their division, win the first wild card. They got off to such a bad start. Chris Sale got off to such a bad start. They're a little banged up. Mookie Betts isn't MVP Mookie Betts right now. But they have so much talent on that team that I think they will turn it around. I don't know if they're going to win the division because the Yankees and the Rays are good. But I think they will make the playoffs. And I'm going to stick by the first wild card. I really do. So I still say they're going to win probably mid-90s games. I think the Red Sox will be fine. There's too much talent on that team. They've got two Cy Young winners, and that's not even counting Chris Sale. So 3 good pitchers on that team. Porcello's been okay, but I think he's a good pitcher. An MVP, JD Martinez, who's the best DH in baseball. They've got quality players. There's just too much talent for them to be bad. So I'm going to say reject their current status. I think they're going to turn things around.
Yeah, I reject as well. First off, they're 23 and 22, but compared to their start, they're doing a lot better. But especially with the fact that the Yankees are banged up, even worse.
Yeah.
Which is incredible since they're in first. Well, they're going back and forth in first with the Rays right now. But, yeah, I reject. I don't see how you go from winning the World Series to being in third place with the same talent you had.
The great talent.
Yeah. They have incredible talent. And like you said, Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, the core of this team is still there. The run production will still be there. And the pitching, if healthy, can still be there as well. So I also will reject.
Moving along to our next one is another team that's caught people by surprise, but the opposite way the Red Sox had. And that's the Minnesota Twins. They're 30 and 15. They're first place by 5 games in their division. Granted, it's a weak division, but they have a .667 win percentage, which is the second best in baseball, not even the American League. They lead the league in runs and home runs and are second in batting average. This team has gotten off to a great start. They've got a Cy Young candidate in Jose Barrios. What do you think, Flem? Reject or respect?
It's a tough one, but I'm going to respect it for right now. One, they play in what might be the worst division in baseball.
I think, the worst division.
And I think the Indians will be better. Lindor was out for the beginning of the season. The Indians have great pitching. But the Twins hitting, I saw a stat today that said that they've hit 5 home runs in a game 6 times this year.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Insane. No. I take that. It was 6 home runs in a game 5 times this year.
And they lead the league in home runs.
Yeah, that's
major power.
That's insane power. And especially if you're playing in a division that the majority of the pitching outside the Twins that you're going to see is not good. Yeah. I think that their hitting is legit. Their pitching will remain to be seen.
8th in ERA overall.
Yeah, their pitching remains to be seen. But I think they have legit power, and they have legit bats in the lineup. So I'm going to say I'm going to respect that.
So here's the question. Do you respect their first place finish? Obviously, there's a lot to change, and there's a trade deadline. But right now...
No, but I do think that they could make things interesting for the second wild card, depending on what the AL East does. Because, I mean, the Yankees are really hurt.
Yeah, and they're first place.
They're first place, but that's another one to respect or reject, because are the Yankees going to be able to keep that up with the people that they're putting out on a day-to-day basis? Yep. But I respect it for now, but I don't know if I respect the first place position.
Yeah, so I'm gonna reject the Twins. Now I think they're great. They are a slugging team with Nelson Cruz, Jonathan Scope's been good.
They live and die by the bat.
They do. CJ Cron has been really good, but I think the Indians are overall better. I know Kluber's hurt. Lindor has been hurt. Ramirez has not been great. I think they're gonna find it. I think the Indians are just a little better. Now, I think maybe next year is when the Twins really start to get good. But I think they could challenge for a wild card, and I think they could challenge for the division. But if I'm gonna say the Red Sox are gonna find it, that's the second wild card, and I don't think the Twins are gonna win the division. So I think they're good.
You have the Rays as your first wild card.
My preseason was the Rays as the second wild card,
and Red Sox first.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a better chance for them to win the division and get the wild card.
Yes, I agree. But the Indians play the same teams, and I think the Indians are just going to find that they're more talented.
Yeah.
So I think that they're good. I'm not going to reject that they're good, but I am going to reject that
they're first place.
That they're first place, second best team in baseball record-wise good.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, that is the end of our Reject or Respect segment. Yeah, we'll see if we keep the name. But we like the segment. But that moves us into our last segment. And this is kind of we're talking about the young guys. There's been so many good rookies this year.
Yeah.
So many. Maybe, I can't remember a time where there's this many good ones.
And getting called up so fast. And like this many transcendent talent. Not just like, oh, he's pretty good. He might help their team, but like he might be the man on their team as soon as he steps on the team. Yes.
Especially with Vlad Jr.
Uh-huh.
And, I mean, Paddock, the Padres' pitching staff isn't terrible, but Paddock has been their number one.
Yeah, I mean, even in just the past, let's say, week or two, we've seen the Brewers, the Braves, and the Rockies' top prospect all get called up.
Yeah.
The Rockies' prospect just got called up, so we haven't seen much of him. But Austin Riley for the Braves and Keston Hiura for the Brewers have done pretty well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Vlad Jr. got called up. He's been really well.
He started slow, but then he's hit 4 home runs this week.
Yes, now.
So,
Senzel for the Reds has been called up. He's not bad. Now is the time for these prospects, and it's so fun. Alonso, Tatis, Victor Robles, Eloy Jimenez. There are some great guys. But who is your one guy? Who is your rookie right now who you think could be the future?
Yeah. If we're talking about... So we're talking about future. We're not talking about Rookie of the Year because, I mean, Rookie of the Year, there's can be guys that have a great season.
Yeah.
But my guy, who I think is the best prospect, is Tatis Jr. And I think he's the best because I think he is the true 5-star prospect.
Okay.
He's a 300 hitter with power. he's got speed and a great glove. So, I mean, we're talking about maybe a potential 30-30 guy with 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases, and can play great defense and hit 300. I mean, that put it together,
Yeah.
he might not have the best single category. Like, Vlad Jr. has better power. Maybe even Austin Riley has better power. But he's got every tool that you need to be the guy. So I think that Tatis Jr. will be the guy.
Interesting note you have here on our Google Doc. It says he might be the only true 5-star prospect this year. I think that's really interesting because, like you said, Austin Riley and Vlad have crazy power. Keston Hiura has hit 330 every year in the minors, but this guy can do really good at all of it.
Yeah,
at all of it. My guy is going to be Chris Paddock. We talked about him a little earlier. He's 3-2 in 8 starts, so like a good record, not great. 1.99 ERA though. 4 quality starts. Half of his starts been quality starts. That means he's eating up some innings for that team, who has a decent bullpen, not allowing runs, and is probably could very easily find himself an all-star for the Padres in his first year, since every team needs one. The Padres haven't finished over 500 since 2010. They're currently 500. They're 23-23 today as we speak. He's the guy. He's the anchor leading that team. I mean, Machado's good. Tatis is good. But you need a pitcher, and this guy has been excellent.
And when you see this guy on the mound, I mean,
he's a major league player. Like,
there's people that you say that, oh, this guy's like, he's a bulldog on
Yeah.
the mound. This guy has got, I mean, when you have a nickname as the sheriff, you better have that personality, and he's got it.
he doesn't seem scared by the moment. He seems so confident with his ability to pitch to big league hitters. It's enjoyable to watch.
That's one you talking about. One of your favorite moments was the Bellinger, the catch and the home run. One of my favorite moments is that Pete Alonso won rookie of the week, or maybe it was. I think it was the week, but Paddock was facing him on Monday, and he commented on MLB's Twitter post. And he's like, "Okay, we'll see on Monday," and struck him out 3 times.
Yeah.
And, like, you could see the fire. After he strikes him out, he's yelling on the mound. Which, if we're going to have hitters pimp home runs, then I'm all for Paddock getting fired up. So, I love Paddock.
So, we both said a Padres guy. And I think the Padres were Flem's dark horse team. I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. The National League is too good.
I don't think they will either.
But we were talking about top prospects in the game, and we both say a guy from the Padres. Well done, San Diego.
Yeah, and one's pitching, one's hitting.
Yeah. So
and you got Machado to anchor. Like, he's a veteran.
You watch out for this team.
And I do have to do a little bit of shout out because there's a rookie pitcher for the Braves. I know it's a hometown team.
Let me hear it.
Mike Soroka, he's 4-1 with a .98 ERA.
Yeah.
.98. And he hasn't given up a home run since his debut, which was technically last year. He's going to be good. And I kind of feel like no one's talking about how good he's been. But he's really good. I just want to give him a quick shout out because I feel like he's kind of been thrown under the table.
I agree. But now is the time to watch these young guys.
Yeah. And we're going to get into the middle of the season soon. And that's when we're really going to see who's got it and who doesn't. Game in, game out. So I'm excited to see what happens.
So that ends our baseball segment for the day. Next week, make sure you stick around. We're going to talk, I think we're going to do about a little 2 months into the season, all-star starters. We're going to review some of the week's games and performances. And we might even find a new name for Respect or Reject. We'll see.
Hopefully. Thank you guys for tuning in.